What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the different types of public transport available in London. It has come to my attention that there is, in fact, public transportation in London, and apparently the UK at large, that people actually want to use. What a fascinating concept for me. Here in America, I mean, truly, it is designed here for you to own a car and to drive yourself everywhere. I mean, every now and then you'll see someone taking, oh, God forbid, one of the buses around here, which aren't the most comfortable thing ever. Or sometimes you'll see people actually walking, and us Americans will be in our cars seeing them and be like, whoa, how are they doing that? They discovered some new mode of transportation. They're moving their bodies, and they're not inside of anything. And our minds are just blown. But I thought it'd be a lot of fun to learn about all the different types of public transportation in London and see how that kind of compares to here in America. And I do think the whole idea of public transportation is fantastic and, good for the environment and just good for the community. But for some strange reason, America seems really, really behind on this, and we've all just kind of accepted the fact that you need a car to get anywhere, and we've gotten quite used to that. So whenever, the few times I've been on a bus in my life, or in a subway, it's like an adventure. I'm like, whoa! This is so cool! When did they invent this? So I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see all the different kinds of public transport in London. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
So today I'm going to walk you through all of the public transport options we have here in London.
Yeah.
Even the pointless ones, so you can see all the
Even the pointless ones? Oh, what are these? Are these like bikes you can rent? Bikes you can rent. Are they electric bikes? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay.
ways that you can get around this city. And the first option is right behind me. Let's go.
Yes! Yes, the bus. In particular, this classic, double-decker bus. I mean, there's buses, casually riding around our small cities and even our towns. Certainly our major cities. But I don't think I've ever really seen a double-decker bus in person, let alone gotten to be in one. What fun!
In London, we have the very famous double-decker buses.
Okay, I'm glad she went straight to the top. If you're in one of these things, I feel like you gotta go straight to the top. I feel like there's so many, there's gotta be some people out there watching who ride buses all the time that are just like, calm down. You don't gotta run to the top of the bus once you've done it 100 times over and over again, I'm sure the novelty wears off. But look at this thing.
Which are actually the cheapest way to get around London. I think they're a little bit more comfortable too. And the best part is that if you get a front seat on the top deck, your views are amazing.
Yes, it actually has a practical application. If you get in these and get to the top, you have a fantastic view. I did not know that this is the cheapest method to get around London. I actually did not know that. That's useful.
The downside of buses, though, is that they get stuck in traffic, so it can actually take you a really long time to get some places sometimes.
Okay. Wow, this is actually useful information. Shocker. It's actually very useful. It's very cheap, but you never quite know with the traffic how fast you're going to get somewhere. It's a trade-off.
Happy on a bus.
Yeah, that looks so cool. Oh, what is this? It says £1.65 for adults. Wow, that is cheap. Very cool. They also just look awesome, too. What is this?
Our next mode of transport is right here. We're gonna go.
What? River bus? I have never heard of a river bus. Is this a popular mode of transportation? Or it says Uber boat. They're making Uber boats now? Or I didn't know about all this.
Go down to Canary Wharf.
This is awesome. Oh my gosh.
river bus, another public transportation option here in London.
The river bus. That is so cool. Is this this is just public transport? Like people get on this thing. It's not like a ferry or no, ferry's not a good example. It's not like a luxury boat ride for fun. This is literally to be transported somewhere. It's public transport. But from my point of view, this is like the transportation is the fun event. Just sitting on this thing is an activity.
There are 24 different piers where you can get on the river bus, and the price that you pay for your journey depends on how many zones you travel through. There's 3 of them, central, east, and west. The boat is...
Zones. I don't know much about London zones or anything, but apparently that affects the pricing and whatnot.
actually really nice. There's even a cafe on board and a toilet. It's actually a really comfortable way to travel around London if it works out for your route, but the
This is really nice. Like, that's actually super nice. I don't know what she's about to say, but I'm guessing it's got to be a bit specific when you ever can even take advantage of the river bus, if it even makes sense for your traveling route.
downside is it's probably the most expensive way to get around London besides taxi.
Oh, taxis are very expensive? That's good to know. I bet there's a lot of Ubers in London, huh? Is everyone Ubering now around London rather than the taxis? And yeah, that's a shame. The river bus is the most expensive, but I bet tourists love it because I love it.
It's pretty cool.
Wow, the river bus. I had no idea.
We made it to Canary Wharf on that type of boat, and our next mode of transportation is right over there.
Yeah, I would have thought that thing was like a tour bus or a luxury ride. I would never have imagined it was public transport. What do we have here? Bikes? Okay, bikes. I've heard, like, bikes are at least... You can rent bikes in New York City and stuff. Like, this is not a crazy concept to me.
These are Santander bikes, sometimes called Boris bikes, and this is the city's public bike system. There are 12,000 bikes around the city and 800 docking stations, including this one.
Wow, but I have to say, this seems so much more high-tech than anything I've encountered. Are these electric bikes? I've heard of electric bikes. I'm not even sure what that really means. Like, maybe you pedal it and it charges it and it'll ride for you some of the way. And there's these high-tech docking stations, and this is pretty cool too.
Cost of using these bikes is a little confusing, so hear me out. First, you pay £2 for 24-hour access to the entire bike system, no matter how many bikes you take out.
That's
then
good.
For each bike that you take out, your first 30 minutes of using it is completely free. And for
Okay.
every 30 minutes after that, you will be charged an additional £2.
Oh, that's interesting. It makes it sound like it's a really good deal, but then the more you use it, you have to keep paying. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like a bike should be one of the best deals possible. You're doing the work, for crying out loud.
For tourists, it can be tricky to cycle around London and a little bit intimidating. So if you do want to cycle, I recommend getting the bikes at one of our many major parks around the city, like Victoria Park or Hyde Park. It's very fun to cycle around them, and you get to see a lot more of the park on 2 wheels.
That's cool. I've never seen a bike set up like that, honestly. That's like high tech. There are these little scooters that are becoming popular, electric scooters. You can download an app on your phone and rent the scooters. I've seen that.
This is the docking point. We're gonna get 2 bikes.
Okay. All right, this is pretty easy.
So when you rent a bike, you get these printouts that have a code on the top, and that is what you type in to pull out one of the bikes. Let me show you.
I like this. I like when it's very simple. Very good for me. Very good news for me when things are very, very simple.
Bikes are super easy to get. I do have a full video that explains more about how to get them that you can watch by clicking the box popping up over here.
I don't think this is an electric bike. It appears to just be a normal bike, but it's still nice.
But they are really fun, and I just love exploring any city by bike. So that's it.
Yeah. I like this. Although it punishes you for biking. Like you're getting all this exercise and doing all this work, pedaling around London. Us Americans like, really enjoying my vacation. And you're paying every 30 minutes.
Okay, time to park the bike. Just to let you know, there are much more interesting places in London to go cycling than Canary Wharf. This is like the financial district of the city, but
Okay.
we just happened to come over this way because of the boat.
Could have fooled me.
FYI.
It's all new to me. I would have been like, this is the most this must be the most amazing part of London. And she'd be like, this is like the boring financial sector. I'd be like, oh, okay. Bikes.
Public transport option we're taking is the train. So in London we have the Underground or the Tube. Those trains go under the ground, obviously, but we also have a bunch of lines that are overground, like the DLR, which is just behind me.
Oh. I have in my little YouTube adventures learned a bit about the London Tube Underground. I did not realize there was above ground trains for some reason. How is this the first time I'm encountering this? I guess I just figured since there's this huge network of underground trains, why bother with above ground trains? But lo and behold, here we go.
And the actual line that's called the Overground.
The overground. Literally the overground. The opposite of the underground, okay?
So they're not as common for tourists to take, but you might end up popping onto one.
Okay. This is not as common for tourists. Like, this is the actual, for people who actually live in London, are commuting and getting around in a practical sense, not to just visit all the tourist destinations. This is kind of more popular, or used more frequently. It's nice. It's a train.
We're about to go on the most popular transportation here in London, the Underground, also known as the Tube.
Okay, so the Tube is the most popular, not the cheapest. She said buses were the cheapest, but this is probably... Is the Tube like the best bang for your buck kind of thing? $270, single journey for Zone 1 travel. Oh, I don't understand some of this stuff, but there's like 3 zones, and you're charged more for how far you travel, I guess.
There are 270 tube stations here in London, and over 2...
There's 270 tube stations. That is incredible. I did not know that. That is so freaking big. That's what makes this such a fantastic method of transport around London. You can probably get to all the places you'd ever need to go if there's 270 stops.
2 million people every single day take the tube system.
Oh, how many take this?
Stations here in London, and over 2 million people every single day take the tube system.
2 million human beings stuffed into this metal tin can, zipping around under London. It's very cool. I didn't know it was that many people. Wow.
And with 11 lines, you can get basically anywhere in the city on the tube. It's not all amazing though. Because the tube is so popular, it gets really crowded, especially at peak times, so you might end up waiting for a few trains to pass before you can squeeze onto a carriage. Also...
Wait, really? It's so popular you might not be able to get on, like, the first try? I feel like everyone, especially locals, would just be like, no, I'm getting on this train. I'm like, move people, I'm getting on. And I imagine over time, you just get used to kind of being packed in here and it's not even a big deal.
Most of the cars don't have air con, so it does get very, very hot down here.
Okay.
But we do what we gotta do.
Okay, so it's very practical.
We finally made it to the last public transport option in London, and that is the Emirates Airline cable car. It's the least popular option, mainly because it takes you from an area you don't care about to another area you probably don't care about.
Okay. This seems very touristy, but it's awesome. Like, in the best way possible. Cable cars, I did not know about this either. I can't believe there's so many public transportations I didn't even know existed in London. Although this one, honestly, this just goes from point A to point B It's not really, is it technically public transportation? I guess.
But if cable cars are your thing, then this might be a good option for you. The
Okay.
pricing's really good. It's £5 a ticket for adults, £2.50 for kids, and
Okay.
any kids under 5 are completely free.
I mean, I think it's just an awesome experience getting to fly above the river, be in this cable car, and get this amazing view. I think you're almost paying for that aspect of it more than anything else.
The whole ride takes about 10 minutes. You get sat in your cable car, go over the
Oh,
Thames, you
wow.
get views of City Airport if you're into that, and yeah.
This is fantastic. I had no idea. This is fantastic. Maybe I sound like a tourist. Whatever. I don't care. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Huh.
By the way, if it's your first time visiting London, make sure you grab my free London 101 guide that has everything you need to know
Oh.
before your first visit.
I think that's the end. She's starting to sell her London guide. All right, fair enough. By the way, this video was by Love and London, and I gotta give that a like. That was packed full of very helpful information. That was so entertaining. Is it strange that I'm so entertained by public transportation? But when you're an American, this is just not something you encounter very often, and just even learning about it and seeing it is fun. It's fun seeing what exists out there. A little sad because I feel like a lot of this stuff could exist in the United States more. Above ground trains more. More buses that are actually nice. Like those double-decker buses looked nice. Like, very clean, high tech. I liked even the bike rental was high tech. But it's also, I guess, an American mindset that we're kind of very much accustomed to doing things on our time. You have a car. If you're an American, you're probably going to have a car. You're going to be able to use it whenever you want, and you really get used to that and reliant on that. Even if I'm going down the block to the corner store or something, it's like, I ain't walking. I'll say it proudly, I ain't walking. I'm driving there, and it'll be like a 45-second drive, but whatever. And I'll be like, this is so American of me, as I'm getting in my car, not thinking about walking. But so it's really fun. This stuff is actually so new and interesting to me. It's fun to learn about. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and UK culture, stuff in the UK I've never learned about, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.